What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Lev Game, episode 126. This is the Average Man's Perspective on Football. I'm your co-host, Marcus. Joining me on the panel tonight is Herman. Say what up, Herman.
Hey.
You are a hater.
Next up, we got Brian. Say what up, Brian.
Thank you for joining us.
You'll be playing with LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
They'll be playing with me.
Yeah?
I made the playoffs last year. They didn't. It's different.
And last but never least, we got Mark. Say what up, Mark.
Good evening.
Next time on time, Mark. Come on, you missed
And
it.
me, I'm 56 years old. Damn.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he just had a 56-year-old moment, too. So, before we get started, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, subscribe. If you watch it on YouTube, we're also on Facebook in our Facebook group, Delay a Game. We're also on Twitter at the official Delay a Game 3. And then we're on Instagram at the official Delay of Game. So this past week, we had the wild cards wrap up. Pretty much went as I expected. I think it's pretty much went as everybody expected. But this week, we got the division games coming up. Getting closer to the end of football. Time to shed a tear and, wait till next season. Herman's hosting tonight. Go ahead, start us off, Herman.
All right, everybody. Well, we appreciate you joining us tonight. Like Marcus said, wild card weekend wrapped up, and pretty much all the games lived up to wild card. Wild except for the Monday nighter, which basically was.
That was one more too.
The best game of the weekend. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, there was another one that was kind of a blowout, but
It was the worst game.
It was close at the beginning of the week, but we'll get into those games a little bit later. We're gonna go through our news stories, our hot topics, and then we're gonna review those games. So, Marcus, I'll throw it back to you for your news topic of the week.
After Brett Maher's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad night at the office Monday, the Dallas Cowboys are reaching out for a reinforcement. Some Italian name. What? This better than You heard what I said. Brett Maher's terrible, horrible, no good game on Monday night. The Dallas plan to sign Tristan Vizcaino to his practice squad ahead of Sunday's divisional round duel with the San Francisco 49ers. NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero, these damn names, reported Wednesday. Pelissero. What he said. Reported Wednesday per a source. The team later announced the signing. Although the Cowboys are adding a leg with experience to their roster mid-postseason, the plan, that dude he just said, reports, remains to stick with Maher against San Francisco. Vizcaino is merely insurance.
You better hope it don't come down to that last minute kick.
Better don't.
Nobody worried.
Did it come down to a last minute kick on Monday?
No, but you
All
better
right,
hope it don't.
All right,
You better hope it don't.
Sir. And all.
Look. We're gonna pick the game. We'll talk about it later.
There we go. Anyway, let me get into the. I'll get into the next.
You gonna stop muting me, goddamn
news story.
You sounded good, quiet.
Whatever.
The Los Angeles Chargers have fired offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi and quarterbacks coach Shane Day. The team announced Tuesday. Changes had been expected to head coach Brandon Staley's staff after a 10-7 season and a stunning loss Saturday in the wild card playoff game, in which the Chargers surrendered a 27-point lead and lost to the Jaguars 31-30. Brian, hit us with the next news story.
The Tennessee Titans are hiring Ron Carthon as their new general manager. Carthon's most recent position was the director of player personnel for the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers will be compensated a third-round compensatory pick for the next two drafts thanks to the Rooney Rule. And if you guys don't know, Ron Carthon is actually the son of Maurice Carthon, who used to play for the running back for the Giants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the Rooney Rule also applies to front office too?
Yeah.
Yep.
They changed it was it last year, Herman, or the year
I think it
before?
was last year or year before, but yeah.
Trying to get more teams to promote and hire general managers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, Mark, go ahead and finish us out with this last news story.
Last news story I have: Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver Russell Gage has been released from the hospital after being injured during the NFL wild card playoff game against the team. Said the game was paused with 2 minutes and 55 seconds left in fourth quarter after Gage fell awkward after he was hit across the neck on the second down play at Tampa Bay at the Tampa Bay. Gage appeared to try to get up, but couldn't, and it was quickly swarmed by the medical staff. But it's good to hear. They said he pretty much cleared any other major like injuries and so forth. But it's nice to hear that he's recovered.
Real nice.
Definitely.
This is crazy now. Ever since the Hamlin issue, we were all like bating our breath, like, please, let him breathe.
Yeah.
It's just like crazy now. Before, he hurt his neck at the ambulance, we'll get on the game. Now it's,
yeah, it's a little different now when you see somebody go down like that.
So real quick, I got a question. I was having a discussion, I think, New Year's weekend. And just be real quick. If Hamlin is cleared to play again, if you were Hamlin, you were cleared to play again, would you play again?
Yeah.
The doctors told me it was because from everything you've heard, it was a fluky thing. Like,
that was my argument. It was fluky.
Yeah, I would do it. They would have said if he had any. Well, they may not have, but the doctors would let him know if it was any underlying issues. I think that had caused it. So if it was a fluky thing, I would play. That's all he knows. These players and people, these players. This is all they do. They grew up their whole life wanting to do this.
Yeah, that was my argument. I was like, it's so fluky. It's like, but he stopped breathing. I was like, it was fluky. It was so fluky. I was like, even the doctors cleared me to play again. Yeah, I would play. Like
the chances, if you probably talk to them and they could tell you what were the chances that it would ever happen again, I bet the odds would be some astronomical odds that it would never happen again.
Right. And I mean, how many years have we been watching football? And I know that was
no
one
one
I've ever seen it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's happened in baseball. I think at different levels before, because I've heard of people getting hit in the chest with the baseball.
Hitting the chest with the baseball, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's like the timing of it, I think, has to be at a certain point. It's so fluky. So. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the hot topics of the week. We got 2 of them. We're not going to be long-winded. Well, some of y'all are. But so the first question we pose is, will Lamar Jackson be a Raven next season? And if not, where do you think he'll wind up being? Mark, I'll let you start this one off. I think this was your topic that you came up with.
Looking at the state of what Lamar is asking for in this guaranteed deal, I think it's going to be hard pressed for the Ravens to try to make a deal with him, but I don't think it's going to be successful. I don't think they're going to be able to pull it out. For when they actually giving up a whole lot to keep this man there, and you asking him, well, you pretty much want to keep the coaches and everything else in order. It's going to be a tough deal to do it, to guarantee it. That is. So I do see him moving along from this Ravens team in the near future. The team that I think he will land with, I can see one quarterback retiring and he taking over the reins. That's down in Miami. I see Tua sitting down and calling it quits, retirement, and I see them making a deal with Lamar and bringing Lamar back down to home in Miami and becoming the quarterback. I see him going to Miami.
Marcus?
I'm going to say yes, he will be there next season for several reasons. Number one, I think Baltimore would be crazy to get rid of him. They pretty much designed the offense around him. I mean, look at this backups. The backups are basically, was it Tyler Huntley and some other people, which are basically, your broke version of Lamar. Pretty much. So what are you going to do? You going to bring a new offense in there? Sign new backups ain't really a big deal, but sign new backups and all that stuff? No, Lamar was a former MVP. He's one of the top 10, some would say 5 quarterbacks in the league. If they don't want to pay him what he's guaranteed, then they might just franchise him. Now, will he sit out the season? That's something else. But they could franchise him. And I think then he'd be guaranteed, what, 40, 50 million a year?
50.
50, okay.
That kills your cap.
but I think it'd be there. It'd be dumb for the front office and Harbaugh to give up on him at this point. Like I said, you basically built your whole offense around him. And let's be real, Baltimore has not been successful due to the quarterback play. It's been unsuccessful, and I mean I'll take their unsuccessful over the Commanders any day. But you can say it's been unsuccessful due to they won't get the man any wide receivers. They need a new OC in there. That's what they need, a new OC, and get the man some help. I mean, basically, they keep talking about, Josh Allen is basically the Bills' whole offense. So is Lamar. Lamar is the Ravens' whole offense. So get the man some help. Get him some wide receivers, and get a new OC in there, and then they'll be straight. So, but I predict he will be there next season.
Brian.
Yeah, I agree with you, Marcus. I think he will be there next season. And Herman, you're right. That $50 million is a big cap hit. But I mean, who on the Ravens is drawing a big salary on that squad right now?
Maybe one of their defensive players.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But I mean, for the most part, I mean, they don't have a lot of big name players. Maybe the tight end. I don't know how much he's making or if he has a new deal, but I think the Ravens can still absorb that and still be successful. I just can't see, again, like Marcus said, their whole offense is wrapped. That everything, the game plan, the calls is all wrapped around him and his talents. So if they let him go, they would have to start fresh with a whole new quarterback, whole new game plan, new linemen, everything. So I agree with Marcus. I think that they've invested too much in him, and they do have the franchise tag to tag him. So I think he'll get tagged. I think he'll be back next year.
Well, I disagree with you, Brian and Marcus. And the reason I disagree with that is a lot of it is because of what Marcus said. They won't put anybody around him. And you look at Buffalo, they got Josh Allen, right? They went out and made a big trade and got Diggs. They got him a receiver. Other teams, they get their franchise quarterbacks receivers. It's what you do. I mean, you could even go back to when Dallas signed Cooper. Even though we cut him this year, they got him a receiver.
I mean, you can go with the Eagles and A.J. Brown.
Exactly. You can go with the Eagles and A.J. Brown. They got him a receiver. You, as talented as Lamar is, part of the investment in him is getting him talent around him, even if it's just one. They have a good run game. You just needed one superstar receiver. I just don't feel like they're trying to develop him to make him a better passer, and I don't feel like they've invested really in him. Brian, you said that they would have to change. Yeah, they would have to change their offensive scheme, but that's not that big of a deal to do. Blocking is the same when it comes to linemen. You can run RPOs with a quarterback who doesn't run. You can do all this same stuff. It's not super as effective as it is with Lamar, but the fact of the matter is they didn't sign him. They're not giving him what he's demanding. Now you got this ugliness with the whole injury in the playoffs because and we all know your team, getting to the playoffs, it's not guaranteed to get there every year. So every time you get to the playoffs, I mean, that's like, we got to go. This is when we got to get it because you don't know when you're going to be back. All the players and coaches, they all say it. So my opinion, that relationship has gone south now. It just has. As for where he may end up, I wouldn't be surprised to see New York pull out all the stops to get him the Jets.
Which one? Oh,
the Jets. They can offer you a former first-round draft pick in their quarterback they have. He's still young, so you never know. He could develop into something. They're going to have to give up some other draft capital, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him go there. It would be interesting. They have a good young defense. Really, it seemed like the only thing the Jets were missing was a quarterback, in all honesty, this year. And then they got the running back coming back who got hurt. They had a good run game. They got some pretty good receivers. They may not have a super top star receiver, but hey, they may be willing to go out and get one. So I think he's gone. The relationship is south at this point, especially after this playoff thing. So I'm gonna say he's gone, and I'm gonna say he goes to the Jets.
So you say at this playoff thing, what do you mean? The fact that he didn't play?
Yeah, there's a question if he was actually hurt enough not to play in that game.
Right.
He shouldn't have played.
I'm not saying he should have. I'm definitely not saying he should have.
Why shouldn't he have? Why
Unless he
shouldn't
was
he have
healthy.
played?
Because he wasn't under contract. He didn't.
Yeah, he wanted a contract, and
What do y'all mean he wasn't under contract? He would get paid a salary for that game.
not.
No.
He didn't have his long-term contract.
He didn't have his long-term contract the whole year. Why even start the year if you're
because why you already
I wouldn't have played.
You already injured. Why mess up? We saw what happened to RG 3 years ago. He went out there in a playoff game and messed up a knee that was already messed up. And
why even take the chance and why not just sit out until they signed you? Why even play this season then?
That chance
with getting injured was
on good
a possibility all season long.
On good faith, and then you really don't think. I mean,
you're saying you worked that hard and win that many games to get to the playoffs to sit out. That's what you're saying.
So you're saying that he was really hurt and he just couldn't play, Brian?
I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. I'd hate to think that he would not play in a playoff game with his teammates because of an injury because he was worried about his future.
Why do you think that
he should be worried about his future? And he's injured. You said he was injured. So he's
if
injured.
he was injured, I wholeheartedly agree he shouldn't have played. But if he had the ability to play, I think he should have played.
Anything under 100% is injured.
No, hurt.
That's not true. Nobody's 100% right now in the playoffs.
Everybody's hurting.
Everybody.
It's about if you're injured.
Okay, there's a difference between being hurt and being injured.
Yeah, there's a difference. So the question is, was he hurt or was
these players are playing with injuries.
Some of them are, yeah.
Not as serious as Lamar's was.
So why do you think that? Why do y'all think that Harbaugh responded the way he did to the media about Lamar? He was almost like, I don't want to deal with that. You know what I mean? Like, why?
Because he knew he had to play. He had a playoff game to win, and he could be concentrated on that. He knew his chances of winning that game was slim to none.
But that's not a reason to do that in the media. They already know. These coaches are prepared. They're prepared way ahead of time. They got all these quality control. They got all these quality control coaches who are already looking at film going into the playoffs at every scenario they possibly have. So why that response? If this is my guy, like they did a story where they talked about Dak and McCarthy, right? And they said that McCarthy drove Dak home after rehab one day, and they sat and talked for hours on his porch, and they kind of grew a friendship. And most coaches are going to have some tightness with their player. If you're tight with your player and that's the guy that you want, why is that your response? Like, I don't want to deal with his. You know what I'm saying? It's ugly. It's gotten ugly.
Well, it's the Ravens' fault. It's gotten this way.
Yeah, and in Harbaugh's defense, I mean, he probably has a lot of frustration and a lot of stress over that situation because it hasn't been resolved, and he really has no power to make it one way or another.
Does he? Because just like he can stand on the table and say, get this man signed. And I know they're gonna do it, when they want and what's best for the franchise. But he has a lot of influence with that. Because
but most
let me ask you a question.
Don't get that.
Let me ask you a question.
In the players in their deals.
You think Mike McCarthy had any influence on whether Dak got his contract or not? Not at all.
No, because that's Jerry Jones. But that's totally different. But you have seen you've seen coaches kind of get questioned about that stuff. They kind of stay out of it. But you have seen coaches back their players.
But he has backed them in the past.
In the past, he did
back him in the past. He did say he wanted them there. He wanted them playing all that stuff. And I think it's probably just frustration. I mean, how long has this been going on? This is
all year,
all season.
Yeah. But I mean, it even started like last year. So,
but why? Like I said again, his response seemed more directed at Lamar. He could have pushed his frustration at the reporter asking the question. Why are you asking me these questions when we got a playoff game coming? You get an injury report every week, and you'll see what his status is on the injury report.
He could be
okay. So
which was the coach like? We only talk about the players that are playing.
Belichick
was that Parcells?
Parcells used to do that. Yeah.
And I just think maybe just Harbaugh just frustrated anyway. I mean, you saw how he reacted with the sideline reporter during the game.
I missed that.
I missed that replay.
Yes,
and she wasn't even talking about Lamar. And he was very short and curt with her.
But you know what though? That's because the NFL makes they should not make these coaches do that.
I know. I agree.
Like that when in the heat of the game, that's just messed up. But all right,
and you know where they got that from?
Basketball.
No, the
You know,
XFL.
XFL.
Well, basketball's been doing that.
Yeah,
You know,
but they did, NFL didn't start doing it until the XFL started doing it.
I didn't even think about it like that. I really thought they got it from basketball. I was like, oh, they doing what basketball does all the time. All right, so let's move on to this next possible that we're gonna go ahead and play. See if it gets cut.
Who put their list down already on the main sheet? That's
Me,
all I
because I'm
know.
hosting. I'm hosting. What?
How many did you do your own personal sheet?
Whatever. So we're gonna go ahead and rate the remaining QBs left in the playoffs from worst to best. Don't usually go best to worst, but whatever.
We want you to rate your top one last.
Okay, we'll go worst to best. Brian, I'll let you go first since you was all in my list.
Well, no, and your list is kind of like I'm mad because I agree. Well, I'm sorry.
So yeah, don't give out my list.
So number 8 is Purdy, and that's mainly because he is a rookie and he's only played 5 games, and you've seen quarterbacks get on a hot streak, and then when the defenses tend to get on them, that's when you want to see some adversity in them. So that's why I made him last. Number 7 is going to be the Giants quarterback Jones. Jones has had a good season so far, but for the most part of his season, years of his playing time, he hasn't been that great. Number 6 is going to be Hurts. And I know the Eagles fans are going to be tripping, but I still don't know how healthy he is.
We're not talking about how healthy. We just talking about best remaining.
Well, if he's not healthy, he's not good. Hello.
It's not like he has a good playoff record either. Go ahead, Brian.
Right. So number 6 would be Hurts. Number 5 would be Lawrence. Just again with his second year, but really his first year playing, under a good head coach. Number 4. I'm gonna go with Allen. I'm going with Allen for number 4 because he has not been playing well
the
last few days. Huh?
I thought I was the hater.
I know, but he hasn't. I mean, he led Miami back in that last playoff game with that hero ball.
You're right about that.
Number 3, I'm gonna go with Mr. Prescott. Again, hadn't led the league in interceptions, so I can't forget that, but had a phenomenal game last week. Number 2,
it's only one game.
Huh?
It's only one game.
2 is Burrow, and then of course number 1 is Mahomes.
Okay, I'm gonna follow up Brian's list. So we agree. I have Purdy at number 8, and I have Daniel Jones at number 7. At number 6, I have Trevor Lawrence. So I'm not a hater as much as Marcus tries to make me out to be one. Okay. Number 5, I have Jalen Hurts, and
so one more than me. That makes me a hater. You're not a hater.
Yeah, he gets one more. I got Hurts at 5.
They were calling him the MVP of the league, but you got him at number 5.
They were, but like you said, for 1, he's hurt. Right. We don't know how hurt he is, and for 2, his playoff history, he looked terrible last year when we hit the playoffs. Right. So I got him at number 5. Number 4,
Hold on, I bet we know who this is. I bet we know who this is.
And Joe number. Oh yeah, we know that's Mike right there, right?
Chicken sandwich.
I got Dak Prescott at number 4. Dak, even though he had all the injury, all the interceptions and everything, Dak actually plays pretty well in the playoffs. We saw what he did on Monday night to the Bucks. Number 3, I have sorry, Mike. Joe Burrow is at number 3. Number 2, I'm buying into the talking heads on the networks because they talk all this crap about Dak and his turnovers. But Josh Allen actually leads the league in giveaways this year. But all he does is win, so it's okay. So he'll be my number 2. And number 1, Patrick Mahomes. You got to respect that man. Point blank, period. That's it. Mark?
I definitely got a different scale than what you guys got. Mine's going to be Trevor Lawrence. How in the heck? He threw 4 interceptions that game. They should have lost that game.
Yeah, but he's 8. Trevor Lawrence
is 8.
Wow.
Touchdowns too.
Purdy Purdy is number 7.
So you're saying that Daniel Jones is better than Trevor Lawrence? You would
Excuse
take
me?
you would take Daniel Jones
The way Daniel Jones have played
In the playoffs right
in
now.
the playoffs right now, yes. I would take
Time
Daniel
out, though.
Jones.
I'm talking about like
We
you
talking about
saying you would take in a draft. You would take Purdy over Lawrence.
Right now, yes, I would.
Okay.
I
You
would.
would want Purdy on the Steelers
I
over
would.
Trevor Lawrence.
This dude.
I would.
Okay, Shady.
Okay, I would.
Because hey, look, he doing that Shady right now.
No, you know what he's doing? He's doing this. He's doing.
Let me finish.
He's
Go
smoking
ahead.
crack.
We stopped at 7.
Yeah.
I got 6 Daniel Jones. They ain't too far off now. Come on.
Okay.
I got number 5 Dak Prescott.
Dakota Rain, sir.
Number 4, I have Jalen Hurts. Number 3, I have Josh Allen. Number 2, I have Joe Burrows, and number 1, of course, Patrick Mahomes. Of course. So we all
You started off your 1, 2, 3 was you were good. The rest of that list,
Yeah.
whatever.
All right, Marcus. Let's hear your list.
Okay, so y'all gonna really disagree with me on this one, but number 8, I got Jones.
Daniel.
That's right, Daniel Jones. Number 7, I got Purdy. For number 6, I got Dakota Prescott. For number 5, I got Jalen Hurts. I'm assuming he's going to be okay. He's going. Number 4, despite the 4 interceptions on was it Saturday? He also had 4 touchdowns. So I'm gonna go with Trevor Lawrence. He came back. He overcame and he came back. Number 3, Mr. Turnover Machine. I'm gonna have to go with Allen. Number 2, Joe Burrow. And number 1, of course, is who will be MVP this year, Patrick Mahomes.
So from 3 and up, we can be the same with the 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, but I would definitely take Purdy over Jones, even if he only played 5 games.
I don't know how. Do you not pay attention to Jones' running ability in this scenario?
I do see that. And I will keep saying I don't know how he runs so fast and look like he runs so slow.
Yeah,
and straight up too, straight up.
Yeah,
chain all in there.
He's moving.
I'm gonna say this though about Purdy. If you really watch the Seattle game, you can see the descent is about to happen. And I'm not just saying that because they're playing the Cowboys. Purdy got away with some stuff, and I was just like, oh, and he got away with a lot of stuff in the first.
Not only that, but the whole thing, Purdy never goes deep. That whole thing is 10 to 15 yards.
Play, and it's play
you don't
design.
have to.
It's play design though.
Okay, eventually you're going to have
Seattle missed a lot of tackles. I'm telling you, if you really watch the game, like I said, if you just really watch the game, Shanahan is a genius coach. I will give him that. He is a genius coach.
You know what he's doing with that young boy?
Yeah, every pass that he threw, they were hardly contested, and it was all about the play design.
Yep.
But again, Purdy got away with a lot, and he's getting exposed this week. So, all right. So that's our list of remaining quarterbacks, and that's our end of our hot topics. Let's go ahead and move right on into the wild card weekend games. First game up was the Seattle Seahawks traveling into San Francisco to take on the 49ers. 49ers won this one 41-23. Even though the score doesn't show it, this game was actually the Seahawks were winning at the half 17-16. This game was actually a pretty close game. San Francisco opened it up in the fourth quarter, scoring 18 points. Brock Purdy was 18 for 30, 332 yards, 3 touchdowns. He was sacked 1 time. Leading rusher, of course, was Christian McCaffrey, 15 carries for 119 yards. Deebo Samuels was the leading receiver, 6 receptions for 133 yards and 1 touchdown. And that's it on that side. We'll flip over to the Seahawks. Geno Smith was 25 for 35, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Kenneth Walker III had 15 carries for 63 yards and 1 touchdown. And DK Metcalf had 10 receptions for 136 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'll start this one off. I picked the 49ers. I got this one right. I thought it was going to be a close game, and it was in the first half. Seattle just couldn't keep up. They missed a lot of tackles in this game. Geno Smith had the one pick. 49ers, they look good. Their offense, like I said, just said a few minutes ago, their offense is well designed. It looks really good. Purdy, I'm not going to take away from what he did because he had a great game. He had a phenomenal game. Again, he got away with a lot of things that I think a better defense would have been able to take advantage of. But I did pick the 49ers, and I got this one right. Mark, who'd you have?
I was right along with you with the 49ers on it. Like you just said, the Seattle was in this game like the first half. They were going blow to blow with him. Second half, the San Francisco came out. They just blew the doors out. They was rushing, good pressure on Geno, putting pressure on him. He started turning off the ball eventually. But the 49ers they got all the weapons there. They got a lot to you got to defend against. And we see what happened this weekend. But the 49ers won. We see. But I took the 49ers.
Brian?
Yeah, I think we were all in lockstep on this one with the 49ers, man. And they did play well. I mean, it's hard to take it away from when you put up 505 total yards on 64 plays. And they rushed for 181 yards. Held time of possession, 32 minutes and 46 seconds to 27 minutes and 14 seconds. Seattle fumbled the ball. They threw an interception, and they allowed Geno to get sacked 3 times. The pressure, like Mark was saying, was just a little too much in the second half. I don't know what the defensive coordinator came up with, but, he basically shut them down. I think they only scored a touchdown in the second half. I picked the Niners, and I picked it right. But I will not pick the Niners no more this year.
Marcus?
You might pick it for the conference championship.
Whatever.
Yeah, I also picked the 49ers. Like you guys have already said, San Francisco open this up in the second half. I pretty much sure it's going to be a blowout. 49ers are hot right now. The defense is great. I just didn't see, as good as Seattle has looked this year, I didn't see Geno Smith be able to pull this through. So, yeah, I picked the 49ers. I was right.
Yeah. I mean, basically, the 49ers did what they were supposed to do. They beat a bad team that squeaked into the playoffs. So, because that's all.
So did another team this week.
That's all that they're saying.
No. Seattle was the last team, not a conference
squeaked
winner, okay?
Yeah, in a sorry division, they shouldn't have been there.
They were still the number 7 seed, okay?
Okay,
all
but
right.
still.
Let's move
Same
into
thing happened on Monday.
Let's move into the
Chargers.
Yeah, let's move into the
Jaguars.
next game. I got it, yeah. Chargers and the Jaguars game. Mark, would you like to put your hat on, Mark?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Thank you.
Shouldn't even said nothing to him.
You sure should.
It would have hit me. It would have came to me.
I know
So-
y'all asses don't say nothing when I
Look,
y'all just
hurry
let
up.
the segment go without me.
Hey, look, let's hurry up. So, yeah, the Chargers went to the Jacksonville. They won. All right, so the Chargers traveled to Jacksonville and lost this one 30-31. The Chargers jumped out to a 27-0 lead on the Jaguars behind Trevor Lawrence throwing 4 picks at the start of the game. Lawrence was 28 for 47, 288 yards. He threw 4 touchdowns, but he did throw 4 picks that helped to lead to that 27-point deficit that they had to overcome. He was also sacked 2 times.
Did he have a fumble too or no? He didn't have a fumble?
I don't think so.
No, he didn't have a
I
fumble.
don't think he did.
Travis
Who did?
Lawrence.
Yeah,
He
well, there was a fumble, but I don't know if it was.
He didn't
Lawrence.
fumble it. No,
Okay.
it was Chris Claybook.
Okay.
Claybooks. Travis Etienne had 20 carries for 109 yards, and Evan Ingram was the leading receiver. 7 receptions, 93 yards, and 1 touchdown. On the flip side, Justin Herbert 25 for 43, 273 yards, 1 touchdown. He was sacked 3 times. His leading rusher, they really had no run game. Austin Eckler, 13 carries for 35 yards. And Gerald Everett was the leading receiver, 6 receptions for 109 yards and 1 touchdown. Marcus, I'll let you go first on this one. We know who you picked, but go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to pick the Chargers. I shouldn't have doubted the Jaguars. They've been hot. They managed to win the division. I think they won, 7 straight end of the season. But the first half of this game, I thought it was gonna be right. Obviously, 27 to nothing, and they allowed to come back. 5 turnovers, 4 interceptions, 1 fumble. You're not supposed to come back from that. We need to start calling the Los Angeles Falcons. It's just great. Or the Los Angeles Colts. It's just crazy. It's just crazy to me that they allowed them to come back and win like that. I felt like unnecessary blame was placed on the OC when it probably should be blamed on the coach. I just don't.
The defensive guru coach.
The defensive coach.
Yeah. I mean, defensive guru, and he was up by 27 and allowed him to come back 31 points.
Well, 4 picks will do that.
And here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. No, I read this stat. I heard this stat this week. No team has ever having a higher lead. No team has ever been able to come back on them. And the Chargers didn't have 1 turnover. Didn't have 1 fumble, 1 interception, 1 muff punt. Not 1 turnover. That's never happened before. And Jacksonville was able to pull that off. So I give Jacksonville their props. Obviously, the better team won, and that's what I should have picked. I was leaning toward them, but I fell for the Justin Herbert magic.
Brian.
Yeah, man. I feel this is some BS. I don't appreciate Staley being that stupid. That fool could have ran the ball in the second half. All 4. He could have ran the ball 3 times and punted, and still prevented them from coming back and winning this damn game. I think it's a farce. I think when you're up 27-7 at the half, I think you should be able to hold on to win that game. So I'm very disgusted with the Chargers. And I don't know to be impressed with the Jaguars with the resiliency or the way they come back, or just to be upset with how the game went across. But when your defense gets 5 turnovers, 2 sacks, but you still give up 390 yards and 70 plays and 31 points, I mean, it's just embarrassing, man. And then you still get to keep your job.
And you didn't have any turnovers at all.
No turnovers.
No turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
there was never a short field.
Your offense coordinator. What's the play, coach? Run the ball. Run the ball. Let the clock go down to 2 or 1. Hand the ball off to Eckler.
And that's another thing.
He would have had more yards if he listened to me. So I picked the Chargers. I picked it wrong.
And that's another thing I heard this week is they were snapping the ball when they still had like more than 5 seconds left on the clock, like a bunch of times. It's just
that's on the OC.
No, the coach supposed to go there and say to the OC, hey.
The OC is talking to the quarterback. The OC is that's their world.
Yeah, but the head coach is in charge of the whole team. So eventually he said, "Hey, dummy, don't snap the ball until it gets down to 2 seconds."
Well, I mean, we obviously see, I picked the Chargers, and I got this one wrong too. And obviously, ownership doesn't see it that it's the coach's fault, and I kind of tend to agree with them. It's you as a head coach, you probably I don't know. You don't
time management is your thing as a head.
It is, but at the same time too, the offensive coordinator should have been figuring out plays to work also. And like you said, he should have been calling run plays.
I got a question for you.
Not even just the countdown part.
Look, he's wearing that hat too long. Can we get it to move?
No, but I got a question. I got a question for you. After they score a touchdown, who decides they go for 2 points in that?
The coach.
The head coach.
Thank you. That's who called.
He doesn't call the play though. He doesn't call the play.
Matter.
He doesn't call the play.
It doesn't matter. Well,
he calls that one play. He's one play.
Okay, no, you're right. He doesn't call the play, but he makes the decision.
He doesn't really. Actually, the analytics make the decision. The analytics make the decision.
Coach,
especially when it comes to Staley. Not when it comes to Staley.
Coach makes the
decision. No, because there was some times from Staley could have went for it on 4th down. Analytics told him to in that game, and he didn't. He punted.
But the bottom line here is this. Obviously, there was something else going on where they didn't feel like the OC and Herbert. It just wasn't happening. Okay, not just this one game. It was probably throughout the year.
Oh yeah.
And again, he was down his top receiver. But there's always going to be a scapegoat, and that scapegoat is going to be the OC when the ownership likes the head coach. So I picked the Chargers. I got this wrong. We ain't going to spend too much more time on this. Go ahead, Mark.
I know.
Way too much time as it was.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, you guys hit a lot of great topics about this game that I couldn't agree with you even more about it. The biggest thing to me was Staley. He messed his whole situation up when he played as wide receiver the week before that, when he really needed him in this game. So, yeah, the coach screwed this whole deal up all the way. Run the ball. We're taught this when you first playing Madden and you up the first, second quarter, you go to third quarter. What you do? You don't still pass the ball. You use the clock management. You run the ball. You wait till the play clock get ran down, and you kill the clock. This man should have been killing the clock coming third quarter. There's no way Jaguars should have came back and won this game. They shouldn't have.
So why was he not supposed to play Michael Williams?
Because the game didn't change.
The game didn't matter.
It didn't change the position.
Why should he? He shouldn't have. Y'all saying he should have started nobody then?
Yeah.
No, but if Mike Williams wasn't at 100%, why you had the boy in there?
No, nobody said he wasn't at 100%. This is a new
but I'm
injury.
saying,
this is a new
happened during the game.
This is a new injury, right?
Yeah, he didn't have a back problem before.
Right.
Has Mike Williams been there all season long?
No.
Right. That's my whole.
But he didn't have a back problem.
But he didn't have a back problem,
That's
right?
problem.
And he got one now because the coach played him when he shouldn't have played him. You see what the Giants
Then
did?
Even if he had played him all year long,
he shouldn't have
he
played
had a
Herbert
new
then.
injury.
Right. He shouldn't
Doesn't
have played.
matter. He didn't need to play. He didn't need to play.
He didn't need
Nobody apparently needed to play if that's the case.
They didn't. They was going to playoffs regardless. They were going
but
to play
everybody
the playoffs
played that game, including
Right.
Mike Williams.
Right.
The whole
Nobody.
Because maybe he wanted to keep his. Maybe he wanted to get Mike Williams back acclimated to the system and back
because
into
he had missed so much time.
Because he had missed so much
Herman.
time.
That's what practice is for. Okay.
San Francisco.
You play for the
San
games that
Francisco
count.
did the exact same thing with
and
Debo.
You play for the
even if he
games that
did,
count.
This game didn't get lost because Mike Williams didn't play.
Right.
This game
No, it didn't
up
get
27-7. I think that's enough points to win the game.
It didn't get turned around because Mike Williams wasn't in there, but Mike Williams would have helped this whole situation out in this game.
Probably
Some of
not.
them
Because
running
OC
game.
wasn't
Some of
calling
them incomplete
good
passes
stuff
might have
anyway.
got caught. Some of them incomplete passes they kept stopping the clock might have got caught.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah,
Long-winded on this one.
that should have been our hot topic.
I got this game right too. I keep the hat on.
Yeah, take the damn hat
Yeah,
off.
take it off. All right, we're gonna move on to the Miami Dolphins traveled to Buffalo, and lost this one by 3, 34-31. This game was a lot closer than I think all of us thought.
Then it should have been.
Because I didn't think that Miami was even going to be able to score a touchdown. In all honesty, the way their offense looked without a better quarterback. Yeah, but Josh Allen was 23 for 39, 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, and he was sacked 7 times. Good grief. Devin Singletary was the leading rusher, 10 carries for 48 yards. Stephon Diggs was the leading receiver, 7 receptions, 114 yards. And Gabe Davis followed that up with 6 receptions for 113 yards. On the flip side, Skylar Thompson, 18 for 45, 220 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, and he was sacked 4 times. Jeff Wilson Jr., 10 carries for 23 yards, 1 touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 7 receptions for 69 yards, no touchdowns. Brian, you want to start this one off? Yeah.
Yeah, on this one, I did pick Buffalo. And like you said, Herman, man, they put up 423 yards on 72 plays, scored 34 points. You would think with that was a dominating win, but it wasn't. It was a nail biter, man. Miami was scrappy. Like Herman said, they made them throw 2 interceptions. Miami was actually up in this game in the third quarter, 24-20, which none of us expected. So the Bills, they did win this one, but they need to tighten their ship up. Man, you got Skylar Thompson as their quarterback, and you let them stay in that game like that. You better not do that against Cincinnati this week. So I picked Buffalo. I picked it right.
Yeah, I had Buffalo too in this one, man. What 7 sacks? Whew, that offensive line, that is not pretty. And man, yeah. But I didn't see this at all. I thought this was going to be a blowout. I think the biggest problem Miami had was they had no run game. They only had total 20 carries for 42 yards as a team running the football. And we know in the playoffs, you got to be able to run the football. And then they were down to their third string quarterback at that too. So you got to give Miami hats off. Third string quarterback couldn't run the football and actually led in this game. and you only lost by 3. So, hats off to Miami, but I did pick Buffalo in this one, and I got this one right. Mark?
Yeah, I took Bills Mafia on this one too. Clock management was a problem again with the coaching staff. Another player who didn't do well in here, didn't shine, was Jalen Waddle. He was under. They kept him under wraps for some reason not until the fourth quarter. But Skylar Thompson missed on one big play when he was looking downfield, and he had Tyreek Hill streaking across the middle. I think if he'd have made the completion, we might be looking at a different outcome in this game. But it was good. The Dolphins put up a fight that I didn't think they'd be able to do. So kudos good for them. But clock management and Waddle not getting involved in this game is what really lost the game for them. But I took the Bills. Bills Mafia won it.
Marcus?
Yeah, I took the Bills, and I was right. And I'm gonna say most of my commentary about the Bills for when we do the picks, because I got a lot to say about that. It shouldn't have been that close. Third string quarterback, you got you're supposed to have one of the best top 5 quarterbacks in the league. No, that's.
All right. Moving on to the next game, we have the New York Giants traveling into Minnesota to take on the Vikings. The Giants pulled off the road victory, 31-24. Kirk Cousins was 31 for 39, 273 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he wasn't sacked. Dalvin Cook was the leading rusher, 15 carries for 60 yards. Leading receiver was T.J. Hawkinson, 10 carries, 129 yards. On the flip side, Daniel Jones was 24 for 35, 301 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and he was sacked 3 times. Daniel Jones was actually the leading rusher, 17 carries, 78 yards rushing. And Isaiah Hodges was the leading receiver, 8 receptions for 105 yards. Mark, who'd you have in this one?
I got this one wrong. I took the Vikings in this one, man. I thought Kirk Cousins was going to show up and shine. He didn't. That check down play at the end, I don't know what they were thinking. You've been finding number 18, Justin Jefferson, all season long, and you don't find him on that most important play. I don't understand it, man.
You throw it short.
Then you throw, it's a check down. He throw a check down. I didn't understand that one. Daniel Jones, 100%, man. He was balling. He was dangerous when he's running the ball, and he showed it. The Giants played their A game against them, and they won it. But I took the Vikings, and I lost this
one. Brian, who did you have in this one?
Yeah, I was with you, Mark. I had the Vikings, man. And that first drive, man, the Vikings went 12 plays for 72 yards and scored a touchdown. I said, oh, it's on, until the Giants got the ball and went 75 yards in 5 plays and got a touchdown. Then I started getting a little nervous, man. The team just went like back and forth, man. But how do you, as the Vikings, put 431 yards up and still lose? It's just crazy to me. Neither team, like I said, turned the ball over. The biggest turnover was the Vikings in the last play was stopped on downs because of a bad play call. And like Mark said, man, 18 is there. You go to 18. If you go down with the ship, you go down with your best player. Why are you doing that? I don't understand. I picked the Vikings. I picked this one wrong.
Marcus?
I picked the Giants. And we all know why I picked the Giants. Prime time.
Hater.
But even though he there was no picks or anything this game, he Captain Kirk just ain't the one that's going to take you there. It's just not going to happen. And
I don't know if you can put this one all on Kirk though. This is more on the defense.
I mean, it is what it is. But I'm blaming Captain Kirk. Prime time, Captain Kirk. He never wins prime time. I think he won. He's only one.
Harvey, could you read the statistics again?
I see it. I'm looking at it myself. I say he didn't make any mistakes.
I don't say you could put that anywhere on Kirk, but whatever.
I said it's not. I'm putting it because he's a curse to the team. I'm just he's a curse on the team. That's why I put it on. He didn't make any.
Now that makes sense.
He didn't make any mistakes at the last play. Like you guys already said. Now we remember that Justin Jefferson pass early this season. I forgot who it was against. Where he was surrounded with like three defensive players and still wouldn't have got that ball.
Yeah.
Dude, like you said, just throw it to him. You got nothing to lose. 4th down, playoff game, win or go home. Just throw it to him. Best, probably one of the, if not the best wide receiver, arguably second best wide receiver. I believe he's the best wide receiver this year. A lot of people say Devontae Adams is the best wide receiver. I would say Justin Jefferson was the best wide receiver this year. Throw it up to him. But I picked the Giants because I knew Kurt and the Vikings was gonna choke, and that's what happened.
Yeah, I picked the Giants in this one too, and I'm going to give you the stat that basically is the reason why the Vikings lost this game: 7 receptions, 47 yards, and 0 touchdowns.
They shut Justin Jefferson.
That is the blueprint.
They played so physical
Minnesota
against him. It was incredible. They did an incredible job with that.
That was the blueprint for stopping Justin Jefferson.
They didn't stop the Vikings. The Vikings put up 431
No,
offense.
I didn't say they stopped the Vikings. I said they stopped Justin Jefferson.
Okay, what about TJ Hawkinson?
You go back. It don't matter.
They didn't care. They didn't care about Hawkinson.
Right.
They didn't care.
You go back to our game against the Vikings, Brian. We shut down Justin Jefferson and blew him out.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Is just I don't know. In my opinion, this is more on the defense than the offense.
But Kirk can't. And I'm not putting it on him, but he doesn't know how to adjust to this when you take away his primary receiver.
But he did adjust. What were his stats?
The reason Hawkinson, his stats was 31 for 39, 273 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But
that's a good stat line.
It is, but his primary receiver was the tight end. They let somebody else beat them in order to take away the dynamic, explosive part of the offense. That's how they beat them. That's the blueprint. That is the blueprint.
I guess, but I don't know. I see the offense did their job. I blame this on the defense. The offense put up the points they needed to put up. They put up the yardage.
No, I don't agree. But I picked the Giants. I got this one right. I could just feel it coming. All right, let's move on to the next. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. We had the Baltimore Ravens traveling into Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Bengals won this one 24-17. Joe Burrow was 23 for 32, 209 yards, 1 touchdown. He was sacked 4 times. Leading Leading rusher was Joe Mixon, 11 carries for 39 yards, and leading receiver was Jamar Chase, 9 receptions for 84 yards and 1 touchdown. On the flip side, Tyler Huntley was 17 for 29, 226 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and was sacked twice. He also had a critical fumble on the goal line, trying to reach the ball out and score. Never should have done that. J.K. Dobbins, 13 carries, 62 yards, and Mark Andrews, 5 receptions for 73 yards. Marcus, who'd you pick in this one?
I picked the Bengals, but I feel the same way I feel about the Buffalo game. I feel like this is a little bit too close. You're going up against a backward quarterback. You got one of the top quarterbacks in the league. It's a little bit too close. But I picked the Bengals. They pulled it out, and you're right, Herman. That fumble was costly. Like they was going to go ahead. They weren't going to go ahead if they got a touchdown. And I think it might have been a different game. I actually thought they were going to win that game at that point. As soon as that fumble happened, I knew they were going to lose. So I picked the Bengals, and the Bengals won.
Yep, I picked the Bengals in this one too. Very surprised to see the Ravens this close in this game. I really was. Their defense kept them in it, and then of course that turnover was critical on the goal line by Baltimore. This is an example of Baltimore trying to run an offense like they have Lamar. Now we all have seen these quarterback sneaks all year long. Now it's the new thing. Everybody lines up behind the quarterback, pushes him in. Somebody forgot to tell Tyler Huntley that we're going to push you in and not jump, because jumping was not part of the plan.
You're too far away, buddy.
Way too far away, bro. It wasn't even close. So I picked Cincinnati, and I got this one right. Mark, who did you have in this one?
I had the Bengals in this one also. This is the third time they playing. They split the 2 games previously. This was what I expected in this game. They went back and forth, but the Ravens played more physical in this game to me than what the Bengals did. They were about to go up in this game before that fumble. Big time turnaround. Hey, did you see when he interviewed Harbaugh? He talked about possibly putting the other quarterback in there. No. I thought that was you didn't see
well, they talked about something about doing a 2 quarterback system.
Like a
right. That's exactly that's what I'm saying. But he didn't do it.
Nah, he's just playing with their opponent.
But yeah, I took the big one, and that was right.
And Brian.
Yeah, I was with the Bengals on this one too, but I mean, it took the Bengals all the way to the fourth quarter to put this damn game away, man. Joe Burrow, like Herman said, got sacked 4 times. You just you got to do better on this offensive line, and they lost another offensive line against. Well, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but the Bengals, you should have blew the Ravens out. It should have not been this close. Ravens do have a good defense; they kept this a minute, but y'all should have beat them better than this.
All right, and then the last one, the Monday night wild card game, we had the Dallas Cowboys.
Hold on, sir. No. Ain't nobody on this panel picked the head down.
We had the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, traveling into Tampa to take on the Tampa Bay Bucks. Dak Prescott.
Herman, he muted you. He muted you.
You mute the host. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense for the show. Anyway, the much maligned quarterback all week long,
Stop
given
laughing, Mark.
no respect, none whatsoever, played a perfect
Who said
game.
all that? Who did all that?
Dak got no respect all week long.
Yeah.
Played the perfect game, 25 for 33, 300.
He got respect for 2 people in here.
4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and sacked 1 time. Tony Pollard was the leading rusher, 15 carries for 77 yards. And Dalton Schultz was the leading receiver, 7 receptions for 95 yards. On the flip side, Tom Brady was 35 for 66, 351 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was sacked twice. Rashad White was the leading rusher, 7 carries for 41 yards. And Chris Godwin was the leading receiver, 10 receptions for 85 yards. Mark, who'd you have in this one?
I took the Cowboys in this one. Tom Brady was a sitting duck back there, man.
He sat and ducked back there. Sorry,
poor Tom. But I took the Cowboys this one. They won. But those 4 missed field goals were something else. That was funny.
Well, those were extra points the last time I checked.
Extra point. I'm sorry, extra points.
You're right. Marcus, who'd you have?
You know, I also picked the Cowboys, and like I said last week, it wasn't a hard pick. But the Buccaneers suck. You can say we're all division winners. The division sucked. If anybody, I say Seattle belonged there more than Tampa Bay. That was an easy pick. And like you said, Cowboys played a perfect game, except for those 4 missed extra points. Better not do that against San Francisco. But yeah, I picked the Cowboys. Easy pick. Cowboys won.
Yeah, of course I picked them boys in this one. Tired of hearing about these however many years it's been since Dallas had a road playoff game and blah, blah, blah. All y'all people want to talk about this and that. You might want to check your own team stats before you have something to say about the Cowboys, because a lot of these teams have droughts a whole lot longer than the Cowboys.
Let me say something about that real quick. To me, that was the dumbest argument ever about the never. So, what it says 92? They said. Mm-hmm. So them other 3 Super Bowls they won. They had all home team advantage, right?
Yeah.
They did.
And we're gonna dog them out for that.
Anything the media can find, you know how that goes.
But that's the dumbest argument I ever heard. When they won Super Bowls after 92, and you mad because they had home field advantage?
Yeah. But you know but that just shows you the typical. I mean, it is what it is. Anyway, we'll move on. But I mean, I had a feeling this game was going to go either two ways. Either Dallas was going to not show up, or we were going to do what we did and show up. And they showed up and blew Tampa out. Yeah, Tampa, you know, they weren't a good team, but they did win their division. They're in the playoffs. And like Tom Brady said, it's not about what your record is at this point. It's about who plays the best for that 3 hours. And Monday night for those 3 hours, Dallas played the best. I think the Cowboys, I got it right. Brian, have at it.
I will.
He muted you. Hold on. He muted you. Go ahead.
I do want to thank Herman and Mark for joining us.
Don't
for
thank
joining
me nothing.
Yeah,
Y'all
that's
dragged me there.
celebration that we had at the.
You dragged me there. I was kicking and screaming.
We had the best time ever. So many Cowboys fans came out. Just a really, really good night.
It was too
ding
loud.
dong,
We
ding
talking about the game.
dong,
We're not talking about the time you had at the
ding
bar. We're talking about
dong.
the
The
game.
Bucks are dead, and Brady. He needs to go ahead and retire after this game. I don't want him playing for nobody else. I want him to remember how we whooped that. How we won that game. You know, like Herman said, I was tired of hearing how Brady beat us and is undefeated and blah 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 and all this crap. Nobody cared about that. All I cared about was Brady getting sacked twice, Brady throwing a crucial interception in the end zone, having to throw the ball 66 times at 45 years old, only averaging 4.9 yards a pass. Like I said, that Bucks, the Dallas defense, they can't stop the run. Well, the Bucks only rushed for 52 yards. The best thing about the game was Prescott, okay? No interceptions. Like Herman said, 4 touchdowns. He did get 1 sack, but that was early in the game. And the Cowboys rushed the ball 128 yards on 35 attempts. Dallas dominated this game. It wasn't in hand. We were never concerned. Y'all can keep chatting on about how he missed those field goals. You ain't got to worry about it next week. He will make his field goal. He will make his extra points. I'm sorry, because we ain't kicking no field goals when we beat up on the Niners. Cowboys all day.
All right. So that concludes our picks for last week.
How'd y'all do?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, how'd y'all do?
5-1.
5-1.
2, 3-3.
Really? You got what did you get wrong?
Pick?
Chargers and
I got the Chargers. I got the Vikings. And
That's right.
oh wait, no, I got the Bengals. Yeah, I'm sorry. I missed the Bengals. I did get the Bengals right.
4-2.
Yeah, 4-2.
all right. So let's go ahead and move into. Not gonna happen. Let's go ahead and move into this week's picks, the divisional round. Oh shoot! All right. So first game up is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling into Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Chiefs are giving up 8.5 in this one. Marcus, I'm pretty sure we know who you're picking, but go ahead. Let's get the first pick in.
Trevor Lawrence has never lost on Saturday. But he will lose this Saturday.
We lose
Did
this
hear
Saturday.
that. Yeah.
He will lose this Saturday. Chiefs.
Mark, who you got?
Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, move on.
Pretty sure this is going to be unanimous. Brian, who you got?
Yeah, the predictor has the Chiefs at 79%. I ain't going against Mahomes with the Jaguars.
All right. And I'm rolling with the Chiefs too, because if I pick against the Chiefs, I don't want to hear my cousin's mouth when they win. So I'm picking the Chiefs. I don't have any confidence that the Jaguars could go into Arrowhead Stadium, especially now I'm going to be counting the number of false starts because Trevor Lawrence in an interview said that he can't imagine that Arrowhead Stadium is going to be much louder than it was Saturday in Jacksonville.
It will be.
So,
Especially
Trevor
since they
Lawrence,
weren't loud. They weren't loud when you were on offense. So.
No, exactly. So, Trevor Lawrence, you're going to
They weren't
learn
allowed to
today.
do them 4 picks. They weren't too loud.
Right.
All right. In our next Saturday matchup, we got the New York Giants traveling into the Philadelphia to take on the Eagles, division rival. The Eagles are giving up 7.5 in this one. Mark, who you got in this one, Mark?
Fly, Eagles, fly. Taking the Eagles.
I thought you was about to curse.
Brian, who you got in this one?
Man, the predictor has the Eagles at 81%. The Giants lost both times they played the Eagles. Them dumb Eagles are going to win.
Marcus?
Save me for last.
Well, man, the easy pick is to say the Eagles in this one. I'm going with the Giants.
Death dude.
I'm going with the Giants, man. I knew they was going to beat Minnesota, and I'm telling you, I'm not sold on the Eagles, and I think Jalen Hurts is way more hurt than they're trying to tell us, and the fact that they barely beat their backups, I'm going with the Giants.
What do you mean? The Eagles' backups barely beat the
No, those
Backup.
was not the Eagles back.
The Eagles barely beat the Giants back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was their backup quarterback.
No.
They don't run the ball like that with Jalen.
What?
Jalen runs the ball way more than.
Yeah, and the
Jalen
Eagles,
played in the last
Eagles,
game.
Jalen
Last
played-
game of the season.
What he
Last
said, they
game of the
struggle
season
with
was-
the Giants with their backup. That's what
right.
he
The
said.
starters, the Eagles starters, struggled to beat the backup.
Right.
But it was
Giants.
It wasn't Jalen wasn't playing.
Yes, he
playing.
was.
Oh,
What are you
well,
talking about,
I don't know. I was watching the Cowboys game.
Marcus?
Herman messed up my damn lone wolf. I'm taking the Giants too. I just for some reason I just think the Giants are going to win.
Next time, just when he calls your name, just make your prediction. Don't say
yeah.
save me last. I mean, everybody knew you were
Right,
going to pick
just
the Giants.
Just
then.
say it. Right.
So I think the Giants are actually going to pull this out.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. It's going to be interesting. I think this is a divisional game too, man. It's going to be close. It's hard to beat a team 3 times.
You love saying that.
I mean, we did it against them. You know. All right. Next game up, we got the Bengals traveling into Buffalo to take on the Bills. This should be an interesting matchup because we all know what happened on that Monday night, so we didn't get to see the conclusion of this game. So now we're getting ready to see it in the playoffs. Marcus, who you got in this one?
So for several reasons, I'm gonna pick who I'm gonna pick, and I know I picked the Bills to win the Super Bowl this year, but in last week's game, Josh Allen had 2 interceptions, 3 fumbles. He lost 1. They can't do that against the Bengals. I'm picking chicken sandwich. I'm picking the Bengals.
But according to all the talking heads, it's okay that Josh Allen turns the ball over because all he does is win. So you shouldn't even take that into account.
He's not gonna beat the Bengals this week. I'm taking the Bengals.
Well, I'm going with the Bills on this one. Home field advantage means a lot. I think the Bills are just gonna, even though they struggle with Miami, they're playing inspired football right now. They've been through a lot this year. They really have, and I see them winning this game. It's gonna be a good one. I expect it to be close, but sorry, no chicken sandwiches on this game. Give me the Bills. Brian, who you got?
Well, Herman, the predictor agrees with you with 66%. Of course, we know that they didn't get to play the first time because of the injury. But I agree with Marcus. I think the Bengals are going to take this. I think Joe Burrow is on a tear. I think he's playing better than Josh Allen, and I'm on the Bengals bandwagon.
Checking out Moist Kool-Aid.
Mark, who you got?
I guess I'm going to be the tiebreaker here, huh?
I guess you are.
Or Herman to be the lone wolf.
Hey man, they are going into Buffalo and play this game. I'm taking the Bills, man. Like you said, they riding high with this. I'm taking the Bills. Bills Mafia.
Circle the wagons, baby. Bills Mafia. All righty, and we got the last game of the week.
Marcus, can you go to ESPN's? Go to ESPN and look at this game and see who the predictor has.
All right, look, you already know who it is. I ain't got
The Cowboys are traveling into San Francisco to take on the 49ers. 49ers are giving up 3.5. Mark, I'll let you start with this one. Who you got? We know who you got. Just say it.
I think this is going to be the song you guys are going to be playing at the end of this league. Y'all are going into lose this game. I'm taking the Niners. You guys are going to summertime. You guys
realize there's like 2 more. We're in winter.
You tried.
It don't matter.
You tried, Mark.
Summertime, we're gonna be playing again.
It don't matter.
Plays in the summertime.
You're gonna be thinking about this all summertime.
You're
gonna be thinking about it.
That was a huge fail. Huge fail.
You're gonna be thinking about this.
No, I like this
all summer long. That's what you think about.
Fail.
I like the song
It's
choice.
going down. It's going down.
But only one person plays music on this podcast. That's me.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Marcus.
Fail.
He just told you don't play music and you're thinking of.
Like for real.
They're gonna be thinking about this all summer long.
That was a huge fail, Mark. Go ahead, Marcus. Who you got? We already know. That was a huge fail.
I say I'm taking the 49ers. They're gonna whoop the Cowboys ASS. 49ers all day. Me and Vincent on the same team this week. I'm gonna be posting just as much stuff as he be posting, especially after y'all lose. 49ers all day.
So of course, I'm not surprised that the two haters on the show take the 49ers.
You are a hater.
Exactly, they are haters. No realistic analysis. Didn't look into anything, stats or anything like that. I'm going with them boys. I'm going with them Cowboys. You saw what they did to the Bucks.
Bucks and San Francisco ain't the Bucks.
Whatever.
San Francisco ain't the Bucks.
San Francisco's not as great as everybody's trying to make them out to be. They're kind of, just like Minnesota a little bit there. Cowboys will go into San Francisco. I'm not going to say we're going to whoop them like we did the Bucks, but we will win, going away. We're going to win going away. Brian, close this one out for these haters, please.
Yeah, and I mean, this is pretty simple. I mean, if you go back and look at the Niners season and the teams that they played, they really only played like 5 teams. I think they were above 500. And most of those they lost. The best team they played was the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Chiefs
they got destroyed.
Broke it off in their butt. So I don't even think this is close. Marcus didn't want to tell y'all this, but the predictor has the Cowboys winning 52% of the time. This is the closest of all the games, though. So it is going to be a good game, but you can believe that the Cowboys will be in the championship game. We got 3 games to go, okay? 3 games in our season. Then our season be over, Mark, and then we can sing Summertime, okay?
Then you can play Summertime.
You can play Summertime all you want, buddy.
Training camp
Cowboys will win this game.
That's going to be y'all after, what day is that game? Sunday.
Yeah, you said that last week.
Anyway. So those are our picks for the divisional round. Let's go ahead and get into our final thoughts, and then we will get up out of here for the night. So, Mark, you want to give us your final thoughts?
I'm just looking forward to the weekend games, man. All home teams will win. I'm looking forward to it.
Brian?
I just want to thank all you haters for watching the Cowboys Buccaneers game. Of course, they set us a record. Most games watched in a wild card game, because of the Cowboys and, all of y'all haters. So
might have something to do with Tom Brady.
Tune in again.
Might have had something to do with Tom Brady.
No, I don't think anything. Tom Brady's been in the playoffs forever and
had a lot to
set a record, okay?
Brady.
The Cowboys play Tom Brady, all of a sudden you set a record, okay? So I don't think Tom had anything to do with that one. And Brock Purdy definitely will have anything to do with this one when we break another record and win it.
So my final thought is, watch a lot of sports commentary shows and everything. And on the real, I just, I know y'all hate the Cowboys, Mark, especially you. You have your reason to. We're division rivals, whatever. Mark, same thing, because, we beat up on y'all in the Super Bowls and stuff.
Y'all stole the Super Bowl. You bought that Super Bowl.
But on the real, for everybody that loves to hate the Cowboys, you say we're the obnoxious fans. You really need to pay attention to the talking heads. All weekend long for Wild Card Weekend, we played on Monday, but they're featuring us all weekend long to talk about. Doesn't matter who we play, when we play. Just notice how the goalpost always changes for the Cowboys. Josh Allen, most turnovers all season long, but Dak is the one who you have to worry about the most with turnovers. Okay, Josh Allen, he just wins, so it doesn't matter. Buffalo won one more game than Dallas did in the regular season. All right. And then, like I said, the most turnovers, not just interceptions, we talking about fumbles, everything else. If you hate the Cowboys so much, stop watching all the crap that the talking heads talk about. Or get mad and petition that they stop talking about us. Don't hate us because they talk about us. They talk about us because y'all watch it. That's all I got to say. Marcus, final thought, take us out.
Yeah, everything Herman just said is some BS. We don't hate the commentators. We hate the fans. Okay?
No, he's not talking about that. Y'all watch. Y'all, the whole show, every show. You guarantee they're going to talk about
mute me. I'm in the middle.
Brian, I
Yeah.
watch it because I like football. That's the only reason why I
Right.
watch
So
it.
let me ask you this real quick.
Not the
So
Cowboys.
when you
I watch it
no, I'm
because
not
I
saying
like
you watch it because you like the Cowboys, but what I'm saying is that Saturday's wild card games, the pregame shows, who did they talk about the most, Mark?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it.
They talked about the Cowboys Saturday and Sunday. I wanted to watch. I'm a Cowboys fan, and I just wanted to watch and hear about the damn teams playing on them days, and couldn't because every other segment was about the Cowboys. It's ridiculous, and they do it because the haters love to tune in to hear all the controversy. Now go ahead, Marcus. Do your thing. Stop saying BS because I'm gonna mute you again.
Let's get out of here.
Before we got here, I would encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe if you watch it on YouTube. And you can catch us on Facebook and our Facebook group, The Lay of Game. We're on Twitter at The Lay of Game 3, and we're on Instagram at The Official The Lay of Game. We will see you same bat time, same bat channel next week. Go 49ers.